Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's masterclass titled Robojudges and Legal Bots AI at the Crossroads of Justice and Regulation, organized by Sai University School of AI. It is a great privilege to introduce today's esteemed speaker, Dr. Mohamed Chawki, a globally recognized authority in cybercrime, cybersecurity, victimology, and digital law. Dr. Chawki is a professor of criminal law and cybercrime at Naif Arab University for Security Sciences in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. With over 25 years in judicial service and 18 plus years in academia, his career represents a rare blend of courtroom experience, academic excellence, and global impact. He earned his PhD from the University of Lyon 3 in France and later achieved the prestigious HDR, which is Habilitation et de Rigueur des Recherches from Aix-Marseille University, the highest European qualification for professorship. Dr. Chawki has taught at renowned institutions such as Aix-Marseille University, University of Paris, and the German University in Cairo, delivering lectures in both English and French across 17 plus subjects, including cybercrime, digital forensics, and comparative criminal law. He is the founder and chairman of the International Association of Cybercrime Prevention, AILCC, in Paris, and the co-founder of the African Center for Cyber Law and Cybercrime Prevention, established in collaboration with the United Nations and hosted at Nelson Mandela University in South Africa. His scholarly impact includes 10 authored books, 35 peer-reviewed papers, and over 250 presentations worldwide. His contributions to the field have earned him prestigious global honors, including national medals from Egypt, Brazil, and Canada, and the Award for Excellence in Scientific Research from Naif Arab University in 2023 and 24. Beyond academia, he has served as editor-in-chief of the Arab Journal for Security Studies and as a board member of the Cybercrime Division of the American Society of Criminology, actively shaping thought leadership in cyber law. Fluent in multiple languages and decorated with more than 25 awards for academic excellence, Dr. Chawki continues to bridge the worlds of law, technology, and public policy, offering deep insight into how we navigate cyber threats in an increasingly digital world. Please join me in warmly welcoming our speaker, Dr. Mohamed Chawki. Welcome, sir, and over to you. Sir, I think you are on mute.
Thank you so much. Good evening, esteemed colleagues and guests. I am delighted to participate in this masterclass on Robojudges and Legal Bots. That's in fact one of the hot topics in 2025. I would like first of all to thank Professor Ajith Abraham and Sai University for their invitation. In fact, I know Professor Abraham since now 20 years, and he invited me several times to India to deliver guest lectures. We have co-edited some books on cybercrime with Springer. Our latest book on cybercrime was released last year by Springer. We have also co-organized several conferences on cybercrime together in previous years. This year, we are working together on the establishment of an international center of excellence in AI and law that will be hosted by Sai University. In the upcoming months, we'll provide you with more information. So now let's start my presentation and let me share my slides. So our topic, Robojudges and Legal Bots, may sound innovative, but in truth, it's not a theoretical subject. It's in fact a timely, urgent reality. We are living in a transformative era where artificial intelligence is no longer a theoretical tool. It's actively reshaping how legal decisions are made, how justice is accessed, and how laws are enforced. This presentation addresses the central challenge. How do we resolve innovation with regulation? How do we resolve innovation with regulation? How do we ensure that AI serves society and the rule of law? So let's begin by reflecting on key milestones in the evolution of law and technology. In the 1980s, computers developed legal documentation. The 1990s brought the internet, vastly improving access to legal information. In 2008, e-discovery tools became essential for managing electronic evidence. By 2016, AI had entered legal research and predictive analytics. And last year, in 2024, the European Union introduces for the first time the European Union Act, the European Union AI Act, marking a critical moment in regulating AI's role in justice. AI, in fact, is not merely an assistant, it's a transformative force. It automates the generation of legal documents, reducing human error and accelerating routine processes. Predictive analytics helps lawyers access case outcomes and develop data-driven strategies. AI-powered legal research tools offer real-time access to precedents, previous decisions, legislation, and commentary, improving research accuracy and speed. Virtual legal assistants nowadays engage directly with clients, offering them the support and making legal services more accessible. Together, these tools reduce costs and broaden access, especially for populations traditionally excluded from legal services. So, generally speaking, justice must be accessible to all. Justice or the accessibility to justice is a constitutional right. Justice must be accessible to all, not only those who can afford it. Globally, millions worldwide are prevented from their basic right to legal counsel due to geographic, economic, or any linguistic barriers. And here, AI emerges as a force for inclusion. Nowadays, chatbots can explain legal rights in any language, can help individuals contest fines or seek compensation without needing a lawyer. And that's one of the advantages of AI. Platforms like Don't Pay, I don't know whether you know it or not, Don't Pay represent an innovation offering people the ability to file small claims, cancel subscriptions, or challenge parking tickets entirely through AI-powered interfaces. These tools don't just save time, they restore dignity. They empower the average citizen to interact with legal systems that were once closed off. But with such a progress comes complexity. And that's normal with the advancement of new technologies. We must provoke a set of deeply ethical questions. The integration of AI into legal workflows is growing rapidly, but we must ask ourselves, what are the unintended consequences? AI systems can inherit bias from the data they are trained on, leading to discriminatory outcomes, especially in sentencing algorithms or bias assessments. Another important concern is privacy. Privacy is a critical concern. Client attorney confidentiality must not be breached by AI surveillance or third-party data sharing. Another important question: who is accountable when an AI system gets it wrong? The software developer, the law firm, or the regulator? So we need clear enforceable frameworks to define ethical AI, and perhaps most importantly, we must foster continuous inclusive discussions across law, ethics, computer science, and civil society. The European Union Artificial Intelligence Act is the first major attempt by a governmental body to regulate AI at a scale. This legislation, this act, adopts a risk-based approach classifying AI systems into categories from minimal to unacceptable risks. In fact, it recognizes that not all AI poses the same threat. So we have three major categories: high-risk systems, like those used in biometric surveillance or credit scoring. It will be subject to strict obligations, including risk assessment, transparency, and human oversight. The second category, unacceptable risk system, such as social credit scoring, which will be banned outright. Thirdly, we have the very acceptable risk system, and this system doesn't violate human rights. Now, let me give you more details about the three risk categories. First of all, the unacceptable risk includes technologies that manipulate human behavior or exploit vulnerabilities. And these technologies will be considered illegal under European Union law. By the entry into force of this act, which entered into force in August 2024, all European Union countries must regulate and must change their legislations to enforce this act. So the unacceptable risks includes technologies that manipulate human behavior, and they will be considered illegal under the European Union law. The high-risk AI, such as those used in law enforcement and court rooms, they must comply with detailed requirements related to transparency. Then we have a limited risk AI, like customer service bots. We must inform users that they are interacting with a machine. Finally, we have the minimal risk AI, like grammar checking tools. They will remain largely unregulated, and this approach by the European Union for the first time worldwide to regulate the use of AI reflects balancing innovation with individual protection. For legal professionals, the European Union AI Act is not just about regulation, it is about responsibility. And that's a very important point from the legal perspective. We must understand how AI tools we use will fit within the Act's risk framework. Before deploying AI, lawyers must conduct risk assessment to ensure that the systems they are using do not infringe on clients' rights. Documentation is a key. Documentation is a key. It means that we must prove that we comply with transparency, accuracy, and oversight obligations. And we must stay updated as the regulatory landscape evolves, so we must our practices. This is especially vital for those advising corporate clients who may also fall under the AI Act obligations. For legal professionals, this act is not just about regulations, as I mentioned, but it is about responsibility, and we must be updated about any changes so that we may not fall under any obligations. Let's mention a very important point. Firms across the globe are showing what is possible. So, for example, an international law firm, which is Baker McKenzie, has integrated AI into contract review, cutting document analysis time by 60% while maintaining accuracy and legal exactness. And that's one of the advantages of using AI in the legal environments. Also, Alan's development of AI in legal research enables lawyers to examine precedents and draft arguments in record time. These examples illustrate that AI, when ethically and strategically applied, can boost client satisfaction, reduce costs, and deliver faster and more accurate legal services. They also show us that legal profession can evolve without losing its spirit. To sustain this evolution, legal education must change. In fact, AI is not just, as I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, it is not just a technical tool, it is a legal subject. Accordingly, students today must understand algorithms, bias, data privacy, and mechanics of digital evidence so that they will be updated in all developments in AI. And courses delivered by international universities include the European Union AI Act, data governance, tech ethics, alongside constitutional and civil law, because they are linked to the use of AI. And I think that tomorrow's lawyers must not only think like advocates, but also like data scientists and compliance officers. In fact, AI in the legal profession brings promise, but it also has serious challenges that we must confront with realism and responsibility. Let's begin with one of its strengths, the ability to process vast amounts of data rapidly. As you all know, AI tools can analyze thousands of legal documents, precedents, and court rulings in seconds. And this help lawyers and judges to save time, weeks, or even months. And also, AI tools offer wonderful potential in litigation, contract analysis, and compliance reviews. Yet, despite these advantages, there are critical weaknesses. Legal language is inaccurate and contextual and culturally embedded. Phrases like reasonable doubt, that's one of the phrases that we use in the legal form, reasonable doubt, or due diligence, require interpretation by the machines. In fact, AI systems also rely on heavily and training data. If the data is incomplete, if the data is biased, if the data is out of date, the results can be misleading or even dangerous. So there are some opportunities brought by AI. AI can bridge the legal gap for populations who can't afford traditional legal services, but at the same time, it has some disadvantages that needs more care when using it, and we can't rely on it 100%. Now, let's turn to one of the most pressing topics in AI, ethics. Legal ethics results on support such as confidentiality, fairness, and integrity. The introduction of AI raises new questions in all these areas. First of all, confidentiality. Lawyers handle highly sensitive information, and AI systems particularly host this information on cloud platforms, and this may introduce vulnerabilities. For example, if legal data is stored or processed by a third-party vendors, the client's privacy will be violated. Secondly, informed agreement. Informed agreement, if a lawyer uses an AI tool to prepare a case or to analyze a case, should the client be notified of this use or not? Should clients have the option to opt out of AI-based advice? transparency becomes essential. Thirdly, a very important point, bias in algorithms. Studies have shown that certain AI systems, especially in criminal justice, can reproduce gender bias. Now, let's look at where we are headed. One of the most evident trends is automation. In fact, AI will continue to take over repetitive, rule-based tasks such as contract review, compliance checklists, document formatting, and even early-stage dispute resolutions. And these tasks don't require high-level legal reasoning, but they consume time and resources. So automating them allow lawyers to focus on higher order thinking and gain time to focus on the legal arguments in the courts. Another trend is data analytics. Law firms are beginning to use AI not just to retrieve documents, but to generate insights. And for instance, litigation outcome prediction models can forecast how a specific judge might rule on a case based on thousands of past decisions. AI is also increasingly being used in decision-making support. Rather than replacing human judgment, it offers increased intelligence. Of course, I'm not saying that an AI machine or an AI tool will replace in the upcoming years a judge in rendering a decision, but it helps to increase the intelligence in data gathering and saving the time for judges to render decisions on hundreds of cases each month. A lawyer might consult an AI system to assess legal risks, and of course, relying on their experience, they can advise their clients. But these trends also require us to reimagine legal responsibility. If a lawyer uses an AI system that gives bad advice, who shall be liable? The lawyer, or the software provider, or the AI developer? All of these questions need answer. The European Union is not alone in its efforts to regulate AI. Around the world, governments are working on how to control this rapidly evolving technology. So, for example, in the United States, a sector-specific approach prevails. AI is regulated differently in finance, healthcare, criminal justice, and national security. And this approach offers flexibility but can lead to regularity gaps. At the same time, Canada and Australia have adopted national AI strategies focused on reasonable innovation. Canada's Directive on Automated Decision Making 2019 is one of the first efforts to assess the impact of AI in public sector decision making, including a mandatory algorithmic impact assessment. At the same time, China, meanwhile, is pioneering its own model, emphasizing data sovereignty and AI for national development. It rules on recommendation algorithm in digital platforms reflect a growing interest in controlling the flow of digital information. And of course, for legal professionals, this global regularity steps means we must remain informed about multiple compliance regimes. International clients may face overlapping or even conflicting legal obligations depending on where they opt or where their AI systems are developed, and that's one of the major problems that we might face. In litigation, AI is becoming an important tool for case strategy. Through predictive analytics, lawyers can assess likely outcomes based on jurisdiction, judge history, or claim type, and this enables lawyers to be more informed about decisions and whether to settle or to proceed to trial or appeal. At the same time, AI tools are also being used in jury selection by analyzing demographic data, social media activity, historical voting patterns. This helps lawyers identify potential bias or align jurors with their legal strategy, though it also raises ethical concerns. At the same time, in settlement negotiations, AI can stimulate outcomes based on similar past cases. It gives lawyers a stronger negotiating position and helps clients understand their option in quantitative terms. And most importantly, AI provides real-time insights. During a hearing or a trial, lawyers can use AI platforms to know more information about case law or identify weakness in opposing arguments, and this is more than a support, it's a strategic transformation. An important point to mention that AI should be seen not as a competitor, it is a collaborator. I will repeat again, AI should not be seen as a competitor, but as a collaborator. The key to success lies in interaction. AI handles the technical and repetitive, lawyers provide judgment and advocacy. And this strategy requires training. What do I mean by training? Lawyers, judges must learn how to use AI systems reasonably, understanding their capabilities, limitations, and ethical boundaries. The benefits are clear. Integrating AI into daily practice improves workflow, accelerates client services, and enhances accuracy. Clients benefit from quicker turnarounds and more detailed outcomes. Moreover, the lawyer-AI partnership ensures that legal advice remains both data-driven and human-centric. It's not about replacing lawyers. It is not about replacing judges by AI tools. It's about making them more effective in the digital world. Enhancing legal drafting with AI tools. In fact, legal drafting is another area where AI is making significant progress. Tools like Cross Intelligence use machine learning to review, correct, and also generate legal documents in real time. AI systems can identify, suggest alternative clauses, and ensure that contracts comply with specific laws or industry standards. For example, a system can flag if a force majeure clause is missing or outdated in a commercial contract, and that's one of the examples of using AI in drafting and in reviewing contracts. At the same time, AI can also generate templates based on prior agreements, saving valuable time for lawyers to review these agreements. For regulators and law firms alike, this means better compliance, fewer errors, and more time to save for the court and legal arguments. What is the role of continuous learning in AI for legal professionals? In fact, lawyers of the 21st century must be lifelong learners. Understanding status and case law is no longer enough. They must understand how an algorithm arrives at a conclusion and how data is classified and where risks lie. This calls for redefinition of legal competence, digital literacy, algorithmic accountability, and data ethics. All of these terms must be known by people working in the legal field. Ongoing training is vital, not only through law schools, but via bar associations, online certifications, and interdisciplinary workshops. Only through continuous education, and I'm repeating this point, I have repeated it several times, only through continuous education, we can ensure that legal professionals remain guardians of justice in an increasingly automated world. In fact, AI is now transforming dispute resolution itself. Platforms, and I'm giving you the example, platforms such as eBay's Resolution Center have resolved millions of disputes without going to court by using AI-assisted negotiation and mediation services. These systems analyze the case background, suggest resolutions, and facilitate agreements, all without requiring human intervention unless escalation is needed. And for example, a dispute over a defective online purchase can be resolved by AI, suggesting a refund, replacement, or partial credit based on prior outcomes and user preferences. These tools are not only faster, they are cheaper, they are user friendly, and in high volume sectors like e-commerce, these services reduce litigation and improves court background. Now to the final slide. To conclude my presentation, we stand at a crossroads. AI offers the legal profession extraordinary opportunities, efficiency, accessibility, and new insights. But it also brings challenges, ethical uncertainty, algorithmic bias, and regularity division. The future of law is not AI versus humans, and I'm repeating it again. The future of law is not AI versus humans, it is about collaboration. A shared framework where machines assist but humans decide is the solution where innovation meets responsibility. And as legal professionals, we must hold AI not with fear, but with ethics and a firm commitment to justice. I finished my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohamed, for that wonderful presentation. You have covered, I would say, huge spectrum. Huge spectrum from practice to challenges from both sides, from legal profession as well as from AI, how AI could be used in several dimensions in the legal profession. I'm sure that the attendees would have enjoyed a lot, and I think now we have time for some questions. So let us take
questions or comments as well.
Yes, questions and comments from the audience. So those who want to ask directly, you can raise your hand and then we can unmute you and then talk. Otherwise, you can post your question in the chat box and we can answer. Anything related to the topic, Dr. Mohamed will answer. If anything related to our School of Law, School of AI, or Sai University, I will answer. Because we have international.
I have a question here from an anonymous attendee.
Yes. Yeah, if you look at the chat box, you can see a lot of questions from. There is a question from Yanko Munich. Do you want me to read? I can read the question if you want.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So Yanko Munich, his question is, what are, in your opinion, the main legal and ethical challenges in defining the limits of permitted risk, especially when regulatory sandboxes are used to test AI systems? How can criminal law adapt to ensure both innovation and accountability?
Yeah, in fact, that's a good question. As I mentioned in my presentation, the European Union AI Act entered into force in August 2024, but it is not applicable yet. It will be applied, in fact, by phases or each year. A part of this European Union AI law will be applied. So for this question, it is not applied yet, but I will tell you from my own experience that from the criminal law perspective, we must be sure that these platforms are liable 100% for the violation of privacy or for the unauthorized access to data, etc., to be held liable by the criminal court. But from the European Union AI perspective, this is not applied yet. This part is not applied yet because even if the European Union AI Act entered into force in August 2024, it will be applied by phases. From each year, a part will be applied from this European Union law.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. We have a question from Mutina Sai. So question is, sir, AI can destroy the world. I think the question is, can AI destroy the world?
Can AI destroy the world? If we talk, well, this could happen if we talk about robots. Robots with advanced AI, as we know, and as you know, Professor Abraham, and that's your field of expertise, the machine learning. Nowadays, robots can take decisions without the interference of their owners. The latest editions of robots can take decisions without the interference of their owners. And I think a robot working with AI can kill its owner or can set fire in a place. It's not destroying the world, but it can commit a crime, it can commit an offense. And as I mentioned in my presentation, that's a major challenge. Who will be accountable and who will be responsible for this? It would be the software developer, the manufacturer, the owner, etc., etc. But I think this could arrive.
Thank you. There's a question from Rishendra, and a question is, how could AI redefine the ethical boundaries of legal decision making?
How could AI redefine the ethical boundaries of legal decision making? You mean for the legal decision making, how can we redefine the ethical boundaries?
Correct.
In fact, this is done by the interference of the software manufacturer or by the owner and by machine learning, as I mentioned. In fact, the AI relies on the previous data entered into the application or the machine. So if we provide the AI with more information and more data about ethical boundaries and how it can behave in an ethical way, it will follow these instructions, and accordingly, it will behave in a good way.
Thank you. We have another interesting question from an attendee. So, like you have said, the future is about collaboration. But, sir, don't you think that since humans are driven by manipulation, corruption, or some sort of external influencing factors, but AI, as it is unaffectable by these facts? My question is, how would this affect the collaborative future?
Well, let me tell you that since the creation of Earth, there has been evil and there has been good behaviors. So why are you mentioning only humans that are committing corruption and manipulation and offenses? Why don't we talk about good behavior by human beings and the development and the evolution of science, etc.? I think that by the advancement of science and by the advancement of technologies, we can achieve this collaboration in a good way, and we put aside those people who are committing offenses and who are committing crimes.
Thank you. We have another question from Sri Jwala. The question is, how do AI reduce legal costs?
Yeah, that's a long answer. In fact, instead of drafting a contract, I can use an AI tool, and I provide the tool with the main data. I would like you to draft a contract, for example, to sell a building or to rent a flat, etc., etc. And in some seconds, the contract will be drafted. And instead of spending hours and hours drafting the contract, my role as a lawyer will only review what the AI has given to me, has provided to me, and I can correct these things. Also, in settlement regulations, as I mentioned, eBay currently has an online dispute resolution platform that relies on AI. Instead of interacting and instead of having employees working for eBay, all of these disputes are being settled by AI 100%. Yeah, in major cases, there will be interference from eBay employees, but generally speaking, AI can reduce the time taken by the lawyers and the time taken by the judges to draft contracts, to review precedents, to search for previous decisions rendered by courts. This can be done by the AI in seconds.
Thank you, Dr. Mohamed. We have another question from Janko Munich. He's a judicial assistant and a PhD candidate. So his question is, which elements of traditional criminal liability do you believe require the most radical rethinking in the context of hard AI crimes and the potential emergence of new categories of artificial entities, such as superintelligent robots? How should we approach these reforms in practice?
Yeah, in fact, we can talk. Let me first clarify something in the question. We can talk about traditional criminal liabilities and we talk about offenses committed by AI machines or AI tools or these approaches. As long as we are talking about AI crimes, as long as we are talking about advanced crimes, we are not talking about traditional criminal liability. We are talking about a new criminal liability that has been integrated into traditional laws to make them up to date. For example, the traditional theft or the traditional rape, etc., can be linked to a hard AI crime. As long as we are talking about AI crimes, we are not talking about a traditional criminal liability. We are talking about a new criminal liability that should be integrated in our laws to make them up to date to face all offenses committed by AI. And that's one of the most important points that I always mention in my conferences. We can't rely on traditional laws to face new cyber crimes or new AI crimes, etc. We must update them. We must change them from time to time. We must amend them from time to time to make them up to date to face these offenses.
Thank you, Dr. Mohamed. We have a question from Tetala Lakshmi. So the question is, if AI goes rogue or invades privacy, isn't that more of a skill issue with coding and system design than the AI itself being dangerous?
Well, let's ask ourselves the question. If AI invades the privacy, this was a reason of the owner of the AI tool or from the AI itself. As I mentioned, new AI, the new generations of AI can violate privacy, can commit crimes, etc. And the traditional generations need the interference of the owner. So if this has been committed by the interference of the owner, this will be the responsibility of the owner. If this has been committed by the AI from itself, this is an open question. I don't have an answer for it because it's not yet regulated, but maybe with the application of the European Union AI Act, we can find an answer for this.
Thank you. We have a question from
What are legal risks in AI?
Correct, yes.
What are legal risks in AI? Well, are you talking about legal risks from the criminal law perspective or from the civil law perspective? I will answer. I will mention the 2 points like that. I provide you with a complete answer. From the criminal law perspective, as I mentioned, the new generations and the latest generations of robots with a machine learning can commit crimes and can commit offenses. And we have a case that happened some years ago. A robot killed its owner. So this may be the criminal law risk. An advanced AI machine, especially in robots, can commit offenses and can commit crimes. From the civil law perspective, the legal consequences, if I am a lawyer or a judge and I am relying on an AI machine to draft a contract or to search a court president, etc., etc., in many times the information provided by the tool or by the AI tool are inaccurate, are incorrect. And sometimes if you use, for example, ChatGPT to search for a court president, it provides you with detailed information. And if you check this information, you find them inaccurate and incorrect. So that's one of the risks that we face. That's why when I mentioned in my presentation, I said that it's very important, it is very, very, very important that we review all the outcome of the AI and not rely on it 100%, but we must review the outcome from the civil law perspective, especially in law firms and especially in courts. Professor Abraham, your mic is muted.
Yeah, sorry. There's a question. Can AI fasten up the process of verdict proceedings in court if they are to be integrated with the system? And to what
Yes,
extent?
of course. Yes. Of course, it can fasten the process of verdict processing in many perspectives, from the legal perspective by the judge or by the lawyer. For example, the lawyer can find court precedents. The lawyer can draft a defense memo. The lawyer can find evidence using an AI tool and submit them to the court, and accordingly he gains or she gains time. At the same time, by the judge himself or herself, they can use the AI to find more information or to find court precedents or to analyze the arguments submitted by the lawyers, etc., in the court, and accordingly they gain time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Any other questions?
We have a question yet from Judge Walid Atiyah.
Yes, please go ahead.
Reliance on artificial intelligence in the field of litigation. How to use it in the analysis of legal data and jurisdictions? How can jurisdictions ensure that the bias in historical data or human input are not transferred or enhanced to the output of artificial intelligence? Yeah, that's a very good question from Judge Walid Atiyah. It deals with the reliance on artificial intelligence in the field of litigation. How can we make sure that the analysis of legal data and jurisdictions are accurate? As I mentioned, we must verify the data provided by the AI. We can't rely on this data in litigation 100%. We must verify this data. AI can be used as a collaborator. AI can be used as an assistant helping lawyers or helping judges in the litigation, in the cases. But relying 100% on an AI, that's a big mistake, because I personally used AI in the legal litigations, and the data provided by the AI tool is not accurate 100%. Sometimes it provides us with fake data, sometimes with incomplete data, sometimes with inaccurate data. We must verify them. For the bias, unfortunately, we can't control the bias of AI 100%, and that's what was the disadvantages to date in 2025. We can't control this bias 100%, but maybe later on with a machine learning and with a change and modification of algorithms, we can overcome this point.
Thank you. More questions? Any more questions from the audience?
We have a question here. What are the advantages and disadvantages of AI? Well, I mentioned this, that's my presentation. I don't know whether you attended my presentation from the beginning or not. There are too many advantages of AI and there are too many disadvantages of AI. But let me tell you that the advantages are more than the disadvantages. AI can help from the legal perspective. AI can help judges, can help lawyers, can help legal assistants, can help people working in courts, in data gathering, in drafting contracts, in rendering decisions, in analyzing decisions, etc., etc. And some of the disadvantages: the incorrect data or inaccurate data provided by the AI tool, the bias of the algorithms, etc., etc.
I think that's it. I think no more questions, open questions. So I guess we can wind up. So once again, on behalf of Sai University and the entire fraternity, it is my great pleasure one more time to have you with us, spending a valuable time enlightening us with your knowledge, connecting two different, I would say, professional entities, legal profession and artificial intelligence, the developments, implications, how to use this technology as well as future challenges. I guess it was a very nice talk. Once again, a great thank you from all of us. And at Sai University, we are looking forward to seeing you soon in campus. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed.
Thank you so much, Professor Abraham, and thank the organizers and the assistant, and thank to Sai University, and looking forward to visiting you in November very soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
And bye to all. Bye to all. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great weekend.